Going live, going live, going live. I'm still going live, I'm still going live. And according to YouTube, I am live. Hello to watchers live, hello to watching playback, and welcome to my 56th iVlog live stream on this channel. So basically, if you don't know what these live streams are, essentially once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, I talk about current movie and TV topics going on in the movie and TV world right now. And at the same time, though, I'll always be answering any live questions sent to John's live stream. And also, if you have a topic you want me to talk about in my next live stream, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll probably talk about it in my next live stream. And also, I should say a couple things off the bat, like I usually do. First of all, I live next to a main road, so at any point you hear like a tractor, a truck, a loud motorbike, or something like that going past at any point during this live stream, I do apologise. Also, even though I live in the countryside, sometimes it sounds like sometimes it sounds like I live next to a building site. Honestly, there's always people drilling at the houses next to me, so at any point there's some drilling in the background of this live stream, I do apologise. And also, I don't know if it happened on the last live stream, I can't remember. But I know on my past couple of live streams, the stream has been cutting in and out, and if that does happen, I do apologise. That's completely out of my control, and hopefully it won't. Hopefully it won't. But just in case, there is your warning. Then anyway, today I'm mostly talking about the book of Boba Fett, but I'm also catching up on 2 topics which I want to talk about when I give my brief opinion on, but I'm not going to go into too much detail on at the same time. So I'm most talking about the 4th episode of the book of Boba Fett, and I'll be talking about that in about 10 minutes time. But before then, I'm going to get into some quick news catch-up topics that I haven't talked about yet on this channel, but have been happening over the past couple of days. But anyway, first quick general thought topic is going to be on Moon Knight. So basically, if people don't know this already, I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday in the UK anyway. Yesterday, the trailer was released for Moon Knight, and I don't know anything about his character. Like quite a lot of Marvel characters, I don't really know anything about them until I see the movie or whatnot. Didn't know anything about Ant-Man before I see the movie. Didn't know anything about Doctor Strange before I saw the movie, and so on and so on and so on. Didn't know anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I love that movie. So, you know, there's been some movies from characters I don't know anything of, and I really liked, and there's been some movies from characters I didn't know anything of, and I didn't like so much. But here we are with Moon Knight, and here's what I'm going to say about the show. I am sick of these Marvel Disney Plus shows. Oh, well, okay, that's a bit of an overstatement. I'm not completely sick of them, but I'm getting a bit tired of them because we've had so many now. How many do we have in 2021? We had WandaVision, we had The Falcon and Winter Soldier, we had Loki, we had What If, we had Hawkeye, and I'm pretty sure there's another one I'm just completely forgetting. And then we've got Moon Knight coming soon. It's coming on March the 3rd, that's what it says on the poster. And by the way, this is a new official poster that was released, I think, yesterday. But yes, we've got, you know, Moon Knight coming, we've got She-Hulk coming from this year, and I'm hearing rumours that we've got Miss Marvel coming this year. I'm hearing rumours that, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special is happening this year as well. And even so, I'm looking forward to a couple of these things. I'm looking forward to the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, because Guardians of the Galaxy, it's becoming a bit too much. I honestly thought this year would just focus mainly on the Star Wars Disney Plus shows, like Boba Fett, like Obi-Wan, like Andor, and like, what's the other one I'm thinking about? Mandalorian Season 3, and then maybe even Ahsoka, but clearly not. Clearly we're still getting Marvel content. And honestly, the trailer looks good. I like the look of the trailer, actually. I think, you know, Oscar Isaac is doing his best Dick Van Dyke impression in the trailer. And also, I think Ethan Hawke looks great in this trailer as well. And he's actually been someone who, you know, criticised Marvel in the past. And criticised people who call it Marvel art house cinema, when really it's not, you know. Marvel cinema. I disagree with Scorsese when Marvel says, you know, when he says, you know, Marvel films aren't cinema, but they're not the same sort of cinema to say the Green Knight is. But the thing is, Ethan Hawke has criticised Marvel in the past, but he's in the show, which I think is a bit ironic. You know, you can't get away from Marvel, whether you're a director or an actor, it seems like. And I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool that Ethan Hawke's in there. And I think it looks great. It looks like a really clever idea, whether, you know, Oscar Isaac's character, I don't know what the name of the actual character is in the thing, because obviously this is his alter ego. Moon Knight is his alter ego, like, you know, Spider-Man is Peter Parker's alter ego, and so on and so on and so on. Moon Knight is, you know, the character alter ego that Oscar Isaac's played, but I don't know the name of the character. But Oscar Isaac looks like he's having a lot of fun in the role. Also looks like he's going to be great in there. I like the whole mentality aspect. That looks quite good. But I have ultimately no hope for this show, because in the end, even with Loki, which I liked quite a bit actually, quite a lot of the Marvel Disney Plus shows haven't surprised me. and they've ultimately left me disappointed with a sour taste in my mouth. And the fact that we haven't got, with the exception of Loki, with the exception of Loki, that we haven't actually got a second series announced for any of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, I think says a lot about the way they structured them. And even Loki was meant to be one big, long series, and then it got pushed into 2 series because of the pandemic. So even that, and I just think that says a lot about the Marvel Disney Plus shows at the moment. And I'm really not that excited for it, because WandaVision disappointed me in the end. The Falcon and Winter Soldier, honestly almost completely forgot about. Loki I enjoyed, but again has a lot of forgettable elements in there, and some episodes which I didn't like in there as well. What If, I didn't even bother watching. Hawkeye I thought was actually pretty bad. And what was the other thing I said? What was the other one? I'm completely forgetting about this. There's definitely another one which I think I missed out on. But yeah, I'm a bit sick of all these Marvel Disney Plus content. And personally, I can't wait for more Star Wars Disney Plus content. I mean, I know I'm talking about the book of Boba Fett in his live stream today, but I thought that Obi-Wan was going to be coming out March 30th when this show was coming out. And so it's a bit like, oh, when's Obi-Wan coming out then? I'm going to imagine May the 4th now. Makes a lot of sense, Star Wars Day. But still, nothing's been confirmed, and this trailer doesn't really do much for me. If it did something for you, that's great. I'm not taking anything away from anyone. If you're excited about the show, that's fantastic. Personally, I wish I was, but so far, Marvel Disney Plus shows haven't impressed me yet, with the exception of Loki, which I've rather enjoyed. But even that is a show I'm not wanting to return to anytime soon. So hopefully it's great. Hopefully it fully surprises me. But honestly, after Hawkeye, after The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and after WandaVision, after What If, which I didn't even watch but heard a lot of bad things about, I have absolutely no interest in watching the show. Well, actually, take it back. I am interested in watching the show, but I have no hope for it. That's what I want to say. I have no hope for this show whatsoever. However, one thing I do have hope for is my next topic. Oh, it's a nice little segue there. One thing I do have hope for is my next topic, and that is The Batman, which is coming out, I think, on March the 3rd or March the 2nd. I don't know when it's coming out. It actually says there. It says on the poster, March the 4th, sorry. It's coming out on March the 4th, and I'm looking forward to this movie quite a lot. It's my most anticipated movie for the rest of the year so far. I mean, Jurassic World Dominion, which I'm really, really looking forward to, would probably be my most anticipated movie, but we haven't seen a single ounce of content from that yet. So when the trailers start to come out for Jurassic World Dominion, I'm sure it'll be number 1 on the top of my list. I mean, it might even go down, actually, if the trailer's really bad, but I don't think they will be. But I'm sure when we start seeing Jurassic World Dominion trailers and whatnot, I'm sure it will soon become like my number 1 most anticipated movie of my list of 2022 movies. But for now, The Batman is on there. Just wait for me to focus there. Focus. Yes, my camera just went out of focus a sec. But anyway, yes, I am looking forward to this movie tremendously. I think Matt Reeves is an incredible director. Matt Reeves is directing this movie. I think he did an incredible job with those Planet of the Apes films. I don't know if people watched the ones with Andy Serkis when he played Caesar the Ape, and I thought they were incredible, especially the last 2, which he directed. He didn't direct Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I liked Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but I thought the trilogy really got rolling with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, was where Matt Reeves came on as a director, and I also thought War of the Planet of the Apes was remarkable. I thought that was a really remarkable film. I thought it was really clever, quite dark, but I kind of liked it. It was quite dark, and this Batman movie looks quite dark as well. Again, a nice little segue there. I'm really liking the look of this Batman movie so far, and I can understand why it may not be some people's cup of tea, but I am really looking forward to it. And a piece of news came out last night, I think, and it's not official, so I do take it with a grain of salt, but a piece of news came out which basically says that this new Batman movie is going to be 3 hours long. That excites me, and the reason it excites me is because even so, Spider-Man No Way Home was 2 hours and a half, and I like that quite a lot. I like also superhero movies where it's just the one character. And as much as I like, I'm using Spider-Man No Way Home as an example because it recently came out, but as much as I did really like Spider-Man No Way Home, that movie, it was, bringing together 3 franchises, and there was a lot of like, oh, we're going to go into shared universes, and that's what quite a lot of superhero movies are like nowadays. Like, pardon me there, Marvel does it and DC does it as well. They share the universe, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I also like the super movies like Shazam, like Wonder Woman, like Aquaman, where it's just the one character, or in the instance of the Marvel films, like Spider-Man Homecoming, where, yes, you've got a bit of shared universe in there, Iron Man, but also it's more a Spider-Man movie than it is a shared universe movie, you know what I mean? And I like the whole idea of just having the titular character, the character that's the title of the movie, being what the movie's about, rather than trying to share universes like I think quite a lot of Marvel movies trying to nowadays. Then anyway, yes, I'm looking forward to the movie quite a lot, simply because it looks like it's going to be a Batman movie, left, right and centre. And like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, it looks like this is going to be, Matt Reeves, executing his vision of a Gotham Batman world and in the best way possible. And that's what I look like. That's why I'm excited about it, because it looks like a director's vision more than anything. You know, a lot of Marvel content and some DC content in that does look like a studio's vision, whilst this looks like Matt Reeves' vision. You've even got Andy Serkis in there. Andy Serkis, who previously worked with Matt Reeves on the Planet of the Apes films. And I just think this setup's amazing. I think it's really good that they're bringing in these characters like the Riddler, like Catwoman, like Penguin, because these are characters we haven't really seen since the Tim Burton Batman movies. And even so, I do enjoy Batman Returns. It hasn't aged fantastically. I don't think those Batman movies, you know, when you look back at them now, you can tell they were made in the 80s and the 90s is what I'm trying to say there. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I also don't think it's a good thing. I just think it's very of its time, and I like the whole idea. I think there's more, you know, gritty Catwoman, and I like this whole stuff, this whole idea of like the Penguin being like a mob boss, like Tony Soprano, and I also like this whole idea of the Riddler being a serial killer. I think that's really exciting. A lot of people have been criticising the Riddler's costume, by the way. It's not the 1990s anymore. This is not Jim Carrey's Riddler, and I'm happy about that, by the way. Don't really like Batman Forever that much, so I'm fine with this all kind of like gritty side of it, because the Dark Knight films kind of went in that direction, but they're also a bit light at the same time, and this film looks like it's really getting to the dark side of Batman. You know, well, Pattinson is obviously playing Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, in this film, has talked a lot about how, you know, he wants to explore the mental health stuff in future Batman films. So apparently this film is going to go into kind of like the mental health aspects of Bruce Wayne, which is something that none of the Batman films, you know, Tim Burton or Christopher Nolan wise, have ever done. And I'm really excited to see how they do that in this film. And I think it's going to be dark. I think it's going to be gritty. I'm so excited to see it. As for the 3 hour runtime, can't speak today. As for the 3 hour runtime, I'm happy about it as long as it feels like it deserves that runtime. I think that's the same with any movie, to be honest. Like the Lord of the Rings films, they're about 3 hours each, and I think they deserve that runtime. But then if you look at something like, I don't know, I was about to say Marvel movie then. I'm not just shitting on Marvel constantly. But if you look at something like, I don't know, Zack Snyder's Justice League, that's another DC movie. I really love that movie, but also it's long and maybe you could cut out half an hour of it. But the thing is though, I hope I don't have the same opinion of this movie. I hope it's 3 hours and it deserves that runtime. I hope it doesn't feel too long, and I hope it doesn't feel too short at the same time. I mean, if it's 3 hours, it shouldn't feel too short, but then you look at something like Eternals and that feels too short and too long at the same time, and it's such a weird way. But anyway, yes, going back onto the Batman. I won't be talking about Marvel series anymore because I get angry when I talk about Marvel series. But yes, basically what I'm saying is, hopefully it, you know, it's got the runtime it deserves. Pardon me again, so I had a drink of water before I did the live stream. But yes, hopefully it's just, you know, hopefully it doesn't feel too long. Hopefully it doesn't feel too jam-packed. And with a 3 hour runtime, hopefully it's, you know, keeps the ball rolling the entire time. And hopefully I don't get bored watching it. I don't think I will, because I think even The Dark Knight Rises has like a 2 hour and 45 minute runtime. And I think that movie's great. I don't understand people's criticism of The Dark Knight Rises. I think that's a brilliant end to such a fantastic trilogy of superhero movies. I don't know. I said superhero like about, it's not really superhero, because I don't actually consider the Dark Knight film superhero movies, but that's neither here or there. But anyway, back to the Batman. Hopefully it just feels like its own thing and things like that. I also don't think the movie will be 3 hours. I think when it does come out, I think it'll be 2 hours and a half, because I think this movie will have a couple of test screenings over the next couple of months, because it doesn't actually come out till March, and so, you know, we've got the rest of January left, we've got the whole of February, and so I do reckon there's going to be at least 2 more test screenings, and I do reckon the runtime will also be cut down. I reckon it'll end up being something like 2 hours and a half, but if it's 3 hours, I look forward to it. I look forward to it nonetheless, and hopefully it gets that runtime it deserves, and hopefully it doesn't feel too rushed, too long, and hopefully it earns that runtime. That's what I want to say about the Batman's 3 hour runtime as a whole. So that is the end of kind of my news catch up for today. So without further ado, let's move in to the thing, my main topic for today, and that is my spoiler thoughts on the book of Boba Fett, episode 4. So I should say again here that if you haven't read the title of this live stream, spoiler warning, because I will be getting some spoilers for this episode of the book of Boba Fett. So now we are halfway through with the series, with the book of Boba Fett series, and I noticed last week a lot of people aren't loving the series. That's fine. all film and TV is subjective, and that's great. I actually kind of like the fact that people aren't liking this series, because it gives me, like, I can look at other people's opinions who hated episode 3 and go, I understand where you're coming from, but I completely disagree with you. Because a lot of people didn't really like the whole teenage gang aspect in the last episode, with all the, like, the Vespa bikes and things like that. And I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I think it actually worked quite well, that chase sequence in Mos Espa. I've always wanted to see a chase sequence in Mos Espa, and we've never really seen that in any of the Star Wars movie, and we saw that here in the Book of Boba Fett, and I really liked that whole aspect of episode 3. But a lot of people didn't, and that's fine. A lot of people didn't, and everyone's got their own opinion on Boba Fett right now. A lot of people disliking it. Personally, I'm up on it. I think this show's great, and after episode 4, I'm cementing that opinion. However, I think episode 4 is a lot of setup, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the setup as long as it's going to deliver. And my big worry with Boba Fett at the moment, with this series at the moment, is will it deliver? Because it's setting up a lot, you know, especially in this episode, the evil Wookiee's back with Boba, Rancor's being teased quite a lot, you've got the Pikes, which are kind of the bad guys, they're being teased, but I don't really get the villainous aspects of them yet, and I hope we do later on. And also, we're getting a lot of stuff teased with, there's something else I was thinking about, there's a lot of build-up at the moment, what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of build-up with what's going on with the Vespa gang, with the evil Wookiees, with the Rancor, with the families in Mos Espa. There's a lot of stuff going on, there's a lot of build-up, and hopefully the next couple of episodes, there's 3 more episodes left, yes, it's 7 episode series, hopefully the next couple of episodes deliver on the huge build-up we're getting at the moment. Because, man alive, if it doesn't, I might be a bit angry. Because I'm enjoying the build-up, and I want this to be one of the Marvel Disney Plus. I said Marvel Disney Plus. I want this to be just one of the Disney Plus shows that I go back to in like a couple of months' time, and I can watch the full way through. And there's proper build up, and eventually it gets to some like epic finale. And I have complete and utter faith that, you know, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, who are executive producers on the show, who also are executive producers on The Mandalorian, will stick the landing with the show. No pun intended there, but I do also have a bit of worry. And they stuck the landing with Mandalorian Season 2, and they did really well. Hopefully they do the same with Boba Fett, but we'll have to wait and see for the next couple of episodes. But for now, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really fun. You know, there's a lot in this episode which I really liked. I liked all the flashback stuff. I liked seeing how Boba met Fennec, because even so you kind of saw that happen in Mandalorian Season 1, and by the way, I think I'm cutting out here. I cut out briefly there. Apologies, that did happen. According to my computer, happened. But anyway, yes, I like seeing how Boba met Fennec. I thought that was really cool. I also, because like I said before, you got to see a little bit of it in Mandalorian Season 1, but you didn't really get to see much of it. And I like how it's kind of filling in the gaps with Boba's storyline post Return of the Jedi. I like that. A lot of people aren't liking the flashback stuff. I like that it's doing that. I like that it's kind of doing like a Godfather Part 2 kind of thing. When Godfather Part 2, you see a flashback stuff and other present stuff, and they come together. And I'm hoping that's what will happen with Book of Boba Fett. I'm not by any means saying that the Book of Boba Fett is on the same level as Godfather Part 2. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just comparing the way they're telling their stories. And I think that's kind of cool. And also, I like that we got to see how Boba got his Slave 1 back, you know, the ship they ride. I thought that was absolutely fantastic, the whole sequence. It was kind of like a heist sequence as well. And also, this episode wasn't directed by Robert Rodriguez. And Robert Rodriguez, who directed episode 3 and 1, is not great with directing these episodes so far, because he directed episode 3, and as much as I did actually like episode 3, the direction felt very disjointed in that episode. I still enjoyed it, but it just kind of felt disjointed. And I do think Robert Rodriguez is a great director. He directed Mandalorian Season 2 episode 6, which is the episode where you finally see Boba Fett get his armor back and knock out all the stormtroopers. Fantastic episode. And he's also a great action director with Sin City and so on and so on and so on. But the thing is, though, you know, he's not been great at the Book of Boba Fett series, and so to be able to get a different direction from this episode, I think works well, because I think the action was more fluid, and I think the episode's direction was more fluid. And also, on the note of the direction, the cinematography in this episode was incredible. I don't know if people realise that. There were certain shots in this episode that I would quite literally pause and print off and put in a picture frame and put on my bedroom wall back there. And I think, you know, this episode kind of showcases some of its fantastic shots, and I really like that about it. I always think Star Wars has some great cinematography, especially in the sequel trilogy, and I think Disney Star Wars, you know, say what you love about it, but I do think that filmmaking wise, it's very good. I think that, you know, whether it's the direction, the music, or the cinematography, I think filmmaking wise, the Star Wars sequel trilogy and the Star Wars Disney Plus shows have been fantastic. Pardon me again there, sorry. But anyway, yes, kind of on with this episode. Other things that I liked in there. I liked seeing the Sarlacc pit. I like seeing Boba kind of kill the Sarlacc, because it's just, I don't know, it was a little fan service moment to see Boba face off the Sarlacc, that swallowed him in Return of the Jedi, and then face off again and finally kill him. And, it was a bit of fan service, but I kind of enjoyed that moment in the episode. I thought it was kind of cool. Also, like, a little jump scare there, because Bo was going deeper into the pit where the Sarlacc is, and the Sarlacc pops out, and it's kind of like the worm scene in Empire Strikes Back, where Han, Leia, C-3PO and Chewie all go into the worm in Empire Strikes Back, and they don't realise what it is at first, and they have to fly out there before it's too late and they get swallowed by the worm. One of my favourite sequences in that film, well, still one of my favourite sequences. I adore the whole of Empire Strikes Back, but it kind of reminded me of that in a really good way. And also, I really enjoyed that sequence in the episode. I thought it was well done, and I thought it kind of provided closure on that storyline. Closure that I didn't know that I needed, but closure that I'm happy I got. Put it that way. Also, I liked seeing the moment where, he had Slave One, I think, and he shot down those land speeders who killed the Tusken Raiders. I thought that sequence was so good, and that's what I've been wanting to see from the series as a whole. Hopefully, we get more of that sort of Slave One coming down the land speeders and shooting them all off later on in the series. I can't wait to see more of that. Hopefully, it happens. So that sort of action, that visceral action that just shows Boba Fett, he is not a nice person. Because as much as I enjoyed Boba Fett so far, I wanted more of that visceral action. We finally got some of that in this episode, and I was so happy when that moment happened, where Slave One was coming down on the ship, and the land speeders were there, and then Slave One just went, whoa, and blew them all over the place. I was like a little kid watching that part of the episode. It really was. And also, there's sort of that moment where the Slave One's coming down, Boba's ship's coming down to shoot the land speeders, and there's a shot where you get the land speeders and Boba in the background. And honestly, that shot, they get Slave One in the background, that shot is that sort of shot that I want on my bedroom window. I'd pause, print off that frame from the episode and put it in a frame and put it in my bed, put it on my bedroom wall back there. My lord, that moment in the episode was so good. I was getting excited talking about it now. It was only a little bit. It only lasted like a second or two, but it was just such a good episode. It's just such a good episode. It's like such a good moment in the episode. I'm a bit tired today. I don't know if you can tell, but it's such a good moment in the episode. And also going into the whole present stuff with the episode, like what's happening at the quote unquote present with Boba Fett and Mos Espa and all these people going against him. I liked how they reintroduced the evil Wookiee again. What's his name? Kusantos. I don't know what his real name is. The evil Wookiee's name is something like Kusantas. Let's call him that for now. Kusantas. How they called him, how they reintroduced the evil Wookiee, I thought was really good, because he was just sitting there at the bar and he's just watching those aliens gamble. He's just like having a little drink. I just thought that was proper cool and things like that. It's kind of how they would, reintroduce a character in some like Goodfellas, or it's like how they reintroduce a character in a gangster film, something like that. That's what I was trying to say, like Goodfellas, Casino, American Gangster, or some like, I don't know, Sopranos. And I really liked that scene where they reintroduced the evil Wookiee, and then he knocks out those aliens, things like that. And then that alien woman who we keep seeing a bit of, who I think is going to become quite important. I don't know how, but I think she will, because she keeps popping up in these episodes. The one who runs the bar, and I think kind of owns the bar. She gives a big speech to the Wookiee, and it's quite inconsequential, because in the end, the Wookiee just ended up, taking the arm off that alien. It was like, oh, okay, what was the point of that, her having that mini speech there? But it still kind of worked. It kind of works in the context of the episode. I didn't mind that so much. And now, I predicted it last week, and it's happened. The evil Wookiee is now working for Boba Fett. I predicted that would happen, and look, it has. Wonder why it didn't happen last episode, though. I don't understand why Boba doesn't employ him last episode. But maybe Boba was getting a bit more heartfelt. Maybe Boba wanted to let the evil Wookiee have a bit of freedom, but apparently the evil Wookiee doesn't want freedom. He needs someone to always watch over him, give him tasks to do. And now Boba is that sort of person, and I like that. And by the way, some people have criticised Boba Fett so far, the series as a whole, for giving the character Boba Fett more of a heart, and therefore making quote-unquote more dumb. I disagree with that completely. I can understand where people are coming from. I disagree with that completely. It's not making him more dumb. Bear in mind, the first episode of this show picked up with with him coming out of the Sarlacc pit and things like that. That's not how the first episode opened, but it happened in the first episode of this show. And I think, what this show is showing is that Boba Fett was lost at the start of the series, and I think he's becoming more found as he starts to create a family of his own with the Rancor that he's got now, with the evil Wookiee, with Fennec, with the Moss, with the Vesper gang as we call them, and also with all these different people who come in to help. And I think that's a really good idea. And also that white droid, by the way, is voiced by Matt Berry, who played the second boss in the IT crowd. Not that that's relevant whatsoever. Random piece of trivia there. I'm a huge fan of the IT crowd, and Matt Berry was hilarious in that show, and he voices the white droid, by the way, the communicator droid in the show, which I just kind of think is a small, nice little detail in there. Then anyway, going back onto this episode, yeah, I'm really liking all the present stuff and things like that. It's building up a lot. That's what I will say. There's a lot of setup so far, especially with the end of this episode. Because at the end of this episode, we get the tease that the Mandalorian's going to come in there. Or Mandalorians. Maybe we're going to get Bo-Katan and the blue Mandalorians. Maybe they're going to come into there. I wouldn't fall off my chair if it happened, because way before the series even started, way before the series even premiered on Disney Plus, way before December 31st, I predicted that the Mandalorians, in some sort of way, or the Mandalorian will show up in the show, and it seems like I'm going to be right. My predictions are coming true. These are easy predictions, things like that, about the Mandalorian showing up. I've got a couple of predictions with Boba Fett which have gone wrong so far. I thought the Tusken Raiders, which he was training with in the flashbacks, would come back and help him, and obviously that didn't happen because they sadly died. So my cold bucket of water thrown over that prediction, but this prediction, a hot bucket of water thrown over, because I think the Mandalorian is coming in next episode. I think the Mandalorian himself, yes, the one voiced by Pedro Pascal, is going to be in the next few episodes, and I think somehow Boba Fett is going to be in Mandalorian Season 3, and I think they're going to feed off into each other, and it's going to be quite exciting storytelling, and I can't wait to see more Mandalorians come in there, especially come and help him in this big war, which was teased at the end of the last episode. And also, there's like one moment in this episode which I haven't talked about yet, where Boba is talking to all these families in Mos Espa, all the families of aliens, things like that. And you really get the villainy of him, Fennec's talking for him and things like that. And he's just sitting there with the helmet on. And that's the sort of Boba Fett I really want to see in the series. Like, even so, I disagree with the criticism that, this series is making Boba Fett more heartfelt and therefore a bit more stupid, a bit more dumb. Even so, I disagree with that criticism. I want to see more of that Boba Fett we get to see when he's sitting in the chair like that. And he's got the mask on, I say the mask, the helmet, you know what I mean? He got the helmet on and Fennec's doing the talking for him. And he's just kind of sat there like Tony Soprano. And it's just, I can compare him to Tony Soprano, by the way. That's not, because he looks like him or anything like that. I just kind of feel like the character wants to be like that. I want the character to be like that. That's what I'm saying. I want the character to be like that in this series. I want the character of Boba Fett to be more like Tony Soprano in this series. And hopefully we get to see more of that. Because we got a tease of it. Well, not really a tease, but we get a full scene of it, actually. When he's sitting in the chair and he's talking to all the other families in Mos Espa. And Fennec's talking for him. And it's just so good. And they get the Rancor. And then one of the family members is going, what happens if we don't? Why should we team up with you? Why should we help you? And then he's got the Rancor claw come up from underneath. Fantastic moment, explaining it poorly, but if you watch the episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about towards the end of the episode, and it's so good. And it looks like the family's on his side now, and it looks like there's going to be a big battle in either the last episode or the second to last episode. Personally, if I was writing the show, which I'm not, by the way, but personally, if I was writing the show, I would have the big battle between the Pikes and Boba Fett and his army in the last episode. Not the last episode, sorry, in the second to last episode. So the last episode is more rounding off Boba's story. But if the big battle happens in the last episode, and the last episode was like an hour and a half, I'm all for that. I'm all for that happening. As long as it finishes off the series well and it isn't rushed like WandaVision would. But as long as it just does something like that, and as long as it gives these characters like a full send-off or sets them up for future appearances and future shows, because I definitely think they're not done Boba Fett yet. Maybe they do Boba Fett series 2. Maybe it's a complete prequel series before A New Hope. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? I don't think they're going to do that, but wouldn't it be cool? But anyway, yeah, I hope that, these characters have a good send-off towards in the series, and we explain where their characters are going, whether there's not going to be another Boba Fett Series 2, which is saying, the quote-unquote present day, which we're following the characters in the moment, or whether they're going to be a Mandalorian Season 3, or whether Mandalorian Season 3 is going to happen in Mos Espa. I don't know, but I hope there's a round-off with these characters, and I hope they aren't rushed, and I hope that I said it before and I'll say it again. I hope Jon Favreau, who's executive producer on the show, and I'm pretty sure he has directed an episode of the show. I hope Jon Favreau has directed the final episode, because Jon Favreau directed Mandalorian season 2 episode 1, and that episode felt like a mini movie. I liked that much, and hopefully he directs the last episode of this show, so it feels like a mini movie. It feels like a complete end to Boba's story as of this series. I'm hoping that happens, and I'm hoping, like I said before, that the show sticks a landing. Pun intended. Honestly, I really want this show just to be great. I want everyone's opinions to be wrong by the end. I mean, if you've been liking the show, your opinion's right, like me. But if your opinion has been otherwise, and maybe you haven't liked the show, I want your opinion to be turned around by the end of this series. I mean, hopefully they pull out of the bag. Hopefully, like they said before, they stick the landing, and hopefully the last couple episodes of this show are fantastic. But so far, I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out for a hero, as Bonnie Tyler would say. I'm holding out hope because I don't know. I'm liking Boba Fett so far, but a lot feels like setup. And hopefully, when I look back and go back and watch the show in a couple of months' time, hopefully all this won't feel like setup. And hopefully, we will have the best ending possible of this show. Because I'm enjoying it, like I said before. I am. But I just want more of these episodes at the moment. I just want a bit more of these episodes, like we're finally getting somewhere. I want some payoff. That's what I want next episode. That's my biggest complaint so far. I want payoff. I'm enjoying the energy. There seems to be some more energy in there. I'm also, pardon me, I'm enjoying the story. Oh, there's one thing I didn't really like in this episode, actually. One more thing that I should mention which I didn't really like. The start of the episode where you see Boba pick up Fennec and he takes it to that mechanic shop, and now, not only mechanic shop, but it's a weird mechanical place. And Fennec gets all these mechanical stuff sewn into it. It's really weird at the start of this episode. It kind of felt like something out of The Fifth Element. It was just so weird. But yeah, hopefully we don't get as much of that. Hopefully we don't get so much of the Vesper gang going forward. But hopefully this show, like I said before, sticks landing. Hopefully the next few episodes are great. I can't wait to see episode 5. I can't wait to see Mandalorians come in, because I think they're coming in. I think Mandalorians are coming in. So hopefully that happens, and hopefully it's going to be absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see episode 5, and hopefully this show sticks landing, because there's a lot of stuff so far, and not a lot of payoff, which I'm slightly worried about. But bear in mind, it's only episode 4. We're only just half the way through. And maybe in episode 5 I'll start getting some payoff, and I'm looking forward to when that happens. And also, my big prediction for next episode, what I reckon is going to happen in episode 5, is I reckon we're going to see Boba ride the Rancor through Mos Espa. And I think that's going to happen with all the people following him and everything like that. And by the way, I've said it before and I say it again, the filmmaking of the series is fantastic. I don't understand people who say the CGI is bad. I think the CGI for the show looks great. Bear in mind, it's not the same CGI budget there for these big full-length feature films. And also, it's not the same crew as well. So the costume design looks fantastic. The settings look fantastic. And also, this show was shot at the height of COVID. And you wouldn't believe that. I just think the show is looking fantastic in a filmmaking way. And I think Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and even Robert Rodriguez to varying degrees have all done well bringing this vision to the screen. And all the directors as well, because someone else directed this episode. I forgot the name of the guy who directed this episode. But I think all the directors have done a great job, because they've made this show feel Star Wars, which on the surface sounds like quite a small thing, but actually is quite a big and quite a difficult thing to do. And I think that's one thing they've done quite well, regardless of whether you've liked the story or not, and the characters and the plot so far. I think one thing that this series has always done so well is made it feel like Star Wars, and that is why I'm still enjoying it as well. It's one of the big reasons I'm still enjoying it. But I want to get some payoff. I want to get some payoff next episode. I want to see at least Boba ride the Rancor. That's my big prediction for next episode. I think Boba's going to ride the Rancor in the next episode, and I hope that'll be the first bit of payoff that we get for the rest of the series. If we don't get any payoff next episode, I might be slightly worried, but I still have the complete faith in Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, executive producers on the show and executive producers on Mandalorian. They're going to deliver the best ending to the series possible. Okay, that is the end of my spoiler review for the Book of Boba Fett episode 4. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But until next time, guys, thank you as always for watching. If you haven't yet, please click down below and like subscribe on this live stream. I look forward to many more, both film and TVs and live streams to come very soon on this channel. Tomorrow we'll have a live stream going, which will be my Spider-Man rankings, both actors and the films. And also I have my kind of review of The Kingsman coming on Friday, so look forward to that. But until next time, guys, thank you as always for watching. And remember, if you have a topic you want me to talk about in my next live stream, please let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and see you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye.